Well, turning back to Tesla, what does this vote mean for the stock? And are these goals achievable for Musk? Well, let's bring in William Blair analyst Jed Dorsheimer. He has a market perform rating on the stock. And Jed, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Your expectations for this shareholder meeting and what this pay package could mean for not only Musk, but for investors, because they're pretty lofty goals, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to hit the elephant right away, I think if this pay package doesn't work, it is going to be very negative for the shares. And the reason being is, Phil was talking about, most of the value has shifted from the auto and the energy business, kind of the physical core of Tesla shares, over to autonomy. So that's robotaxi, humanoid robots. And so Elon has made it very clear that in order for him to stay and kind of build autonomy, that he wants to have control, voting control, or he's not interested. And so I think from that perspective, it's critical. You just do the math here, and this vote needs to pass. If it doesn't pass, that's going to be a real negative from a shareholder perspective. Yeah,
and of course, his last pay package, which was also tied to some pretty eye-popping incentives, is still, if I recall correctly, tied up in the court system right now, too. So given the future for Tesla and what that involves and the role of AI, how necessary is it going to be, or crucial is it going to be, to see an investment into XAI made here or approved here today, too?
Well, Tesla isn't actually the one that set that up. That's a shareholder that put that on the docket. But I think going back to that earlier point, how is Elon going to grow this business by $7.5 trillion or $7 trillion of market cap? And I think that has to open the door in terms of the potential for inorganic growth, too. So to me, that's kind of the signal that we would be looking for in terms of the passage of that. And then I would also come back and say, listen, if any CEO is going to grow the market cap by 7 times, I mean, they are delivering a tremendous amount of value that's going to be more beneficial to the shareholders than themselves. In this case, it is still hard to swallow the total amount of that pay package. But when you look at it from that perspective, I think it's easier to understand.
Well, but let's look at it from that perspective, because
Sure.
My feeling was, hey, the first time they put that pay package together and Tesla had been relatively small, and it seemed like, boy, how could such targets ever be hit? I mean, if that was the agreement, the stock went up, pay him the money, right? This time, though, I wonder. Jensen Huang's not doing this. Tim Cook isn't doing this. Jensen Huang's the founder. He gave away a portion of NVIDIA on the way up because of the deals he did. He's doing quite well, mind you. But is this really the way that shareholders should want the largest companies that affect not just the economy, but foreign policy increasingly to be run and governed?
I mean, I think if you're looking at it purely from a mathematical perspective in terms of delivering value, then the answer is yes. If the question is any one person worth that amount of money, I think the answer is probably no. I think that, when we look at the absolute dollar amount, though, I think that might be the wrong way to look at it, because Elon tried, and I think Robin may have been on your show even talking about it. We had this conversation with her directly, and I think she's presenting at the shareholder meeting right now.
Yep.
That really what Elon wanted was the supermajority voting, but they couldn't do that, post creation or formation of the company. So that's how we ended up in this situation with this enormous pay package. Will it set a precedent? Maybe. I mean, I think there are going to be other shareholders that look at, where you have a key man or woman within a business in terms of the value and the potential value creation, and they're going to look at, how do we retain them? So we might be seeing, a precedent that is set that would change things.